My good people, my good people. Hello, world. I'd like to welcome y'all back to the show that's hot with your boy, Rob Scott. This is Robs2Cents, baby. What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody is good. Hope everybody had a great weekend. We coming upon a Christmas holiday. So happy holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. L'chaim, all that good stuff, baby. We here, man. We celebrating the good times, and we ready for the good times to keep on rolling in as we head into 2024. Can y'all believe we in 2024? I think they said by this time we'll have flying cars. I haven't seen any cars that's flying yet, but we got Teslas out there that's self-driving on the road. I don't know how safe that is, but it's happening. It's happening. It's a whole new world, baby. It's a whole new world. But one thing that ain't changing is sports, baby, and the love that we all have for sports. That's what bring you here. That's what keep us all going. We saw some great games this weekend, even though college football, we had to wait for this weekend for the bowl games. We still had the NFL to help us with our Saturday fixing the football. And we saw some great games this past weekends. The top 5 ranking has changed. You know, Stephen A. Smith say his list is fluid. My list is factual. It's real. And we're going to get into Rob's top 5 of top 5 in the NFL after week 15. But we got to start this conversation. You know, we got to start talking about the Bears, man. Bears when it gets the Cleveland Browns, which I said from the get-go would be a tall test. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, come on in, tune in to the hottest sports conversation in the nation. I hope you got what you chill with because we ready to go. Now, the Bears when it gets the Cleveland Browns, and I said that'll be a tough task due to the fact that the Cleveland Browns, to me personally, the Cleveland Browns have the best record in the NFL. I mean, not best record, but the best defense in the NFL right now. I mean, led by Myles Garrett, them boys have been keeping them in games. I think they've had four quarterback starters. Deshaun Watson, PJ Walker, the other cat that they were throwing in. Sorry, I don't know your name, and now they have Joe Flacco. So they've had a lot of quarterbacks to start in this role during this crazy season. Yet right now the Cleveland Browns are in the top spot of the wild card in the AFC playoff picture. And I knew the Bears were gonna have a tough time, especially considering the problems we had offensively. And we would indeed lose in a heartbreaking loss to the Cleveland Browns 20-17. Now, Justin Fields, you know, it wasn't a great day, wasn't a horrific day, but it was a bad day at the office. I mean, he was 19 of 40, 166 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. The Bears as a whole team, as a whole offensive unit, just had a hard time moving the ball downfield, accumulating yards. I mean, we had 236 total yards on the day, with 148 of those yards being passing yards and 88 rushing yards on the day. So that just shows you we couldn't even break over 100 as a team. We couldn't break over the 100-yard mark as far as yardage. And if you're talking about passing the ball to get under 150 yards in total offensive passing, that's just horrible. We were 4-18 on third down conversions. We allowed pressure to get to Fields all game, including him taking 3 sacks and him giving up 3 turnovers. So it was just a real bad day at the office for the Bears. Now, we almost won this game. As I mentioned, final score was 20-17. That was due to our defense. Our defense played a hell of a game against a Joe Flacco who was kind of hot, you know, starting to learn this offense for the Cleveland Browns. But our defense was able to put some pressure on them. They were only 4-16 on third downs, and we got pressure to Flacco all game. You know, sacked him 4 times, forced 2 interceptions. My boy Montez Sweat continuing to lead the charge. Montez Sweat has been a great investment for the Bears, man, because this dude has just been on the tear. I mean, you know, in his 6 games with the Bears, the guy's already recorded 6 sacks. Not saying that's a sack per game, But within this 6 games, he has caused havoc on the opposing team's offense. Just simply a freak of nature. And as I mentioned, man, I got to give a shout out to my boy Mike Hughes, who was real thrilled about this trade. And I wanted Chase Young, but it seems like we got the better end of the deal on that trade because Montez Sweat has been a godsend for our defense, and our defense has really been playing very well. We were already a great defense against the run, but to see what our defense is doing now in the complete package, seeing what Jalen Johnson has been doing, adding Montez Sweat, and get Tremaine Edmonds and him controlling that linebacker core, it's been simply amazing, and I'm happy that the Bears team are finally starting to look like monsters of the Midway again. As I mentioned, Montez Sweat in his 6th game has already recorded 6 sacks, and he allows our front four to get pressure on the QB without completely sending the house at a team. We don't have to run these exotic blitz packages. When you're able to rush with your front four, you become an even deadlier team because now you have more players in the secondary to help on those short gains. So right now, I've been having to take the bright spot out of what I've been seeing with the Bears. As I said before, I don't think they should get rid of Justin Fields. Yeah, he had a couple mistakes yesterday, but for the most part, he was very accurate. Getting the ball downfield. It's just that we couldn't move downfield very often against that Browns defense. And I'm telling y'all right now, the Bears would be an idiot to go try to grab Caleb Williams. Right now, you need to fortify that offensive line, bring in some more playmakers, whether that be Marvin Harrison Jr., whether that be packaging up some of those draft picks, throwing them at the Las Vegas Raiders, and possibly going to try to get a Devontae Adams. You know what I mean? Eberflus, I'm still on the fence about Eberflus because our defense has been playing better. But I don't know if that's been because Eberflus is taking over the play calling for the defense, or that's because us bringing in Montez Sweat, bringing in somebody that can actually dominate from the line of scrimmage and just wreak havoc on opposing teams. And that's what Sweat has been doing. So I like where the Bears are going. Saw a nice touchdown pass to Cole Kmet from Justin Fields and being able to show off his speed and keep plays extended. And that's what we're gonna need from Justin Fields, especially going into the new season next year. This season has already been a bust, but I just want to see some great things come from the Bears until this season is over with. But enough about the Bears, y'all. It's time to get into your favorite segment, my favorite segment, everybody's favorite segment. It's time to get into Rob's top 5 teams after NFL teams after week 15. I told you guys, they say Stephen A. Smith list is fluid. My list is real. My list is factual. Let's get into number 5, ladies and gentlemen. We got to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I know a lot of people are like, man, the Kansas City Chiefs, Rob, are you tweaking? No, sir, I'm not tweaking. I have to put Kansas City Chiefs in there, especially after their big win against the New England Patriots, winning 20-17. Say what you want about New England, say what you want about Bill Belichick. He still got that defense playing at an extreme high rate. Their defense has been the reason they've been in games. They just have not been able to get consistent play from any quarterback on that side of the field. But defensively, the New England Patriots are still pretty damn good. And this game, to me, showed the execution between coach and top playmaker. To see the execution of the play caller from Andy Reid and to see Pat Mahomes go out there and execute that on a high level, it was simply something beautiful. It was like poetry in motion. The play calling was great because they mixed schemes in the pass game that hid their inability to actually rush the ball. If we look at what they did on the day, they only had 43 yards rushing. I'm not talking about one running back. I'm talking about as a total team. The Kansas City Chiefs were only able to rush the ball for 43 yards. However, with those schemes that they were going, they were still able to get a high offensive output from their offense. Now, Pat Mahomes had 2 interceptions on the day, with one of those interceptions really not being his fault. The defender went and snatched the ball right out of the receiver's hand, was able to take it to the house. It wasn't his fault, but an interception still occurred. But Mahomes still made it through the tough day with tough passes by being pressured by a pretty good New England defense. He was able to throw for over 300 yards, throw for 2 touchdowns. Jared McKinney breaking out his playmaker hat, threw for a touchdown, and then caught a touchdown as well. I mean, they were out there playing tremendous football. The defense finally woke up too and held New England to only 7 points in the second half, which I don't know if you can take that as a moral victory. As I mentioned, New England's bread and butter has not been their offense, it's been their defense. However, to see your defense start to get back on track if you're the Kansas City Chiefs has to be a great sign. The Chiefs are still in the top spot in the AFC West, still leading that division. And with Pat Mahomes, let's just face it, ladies and gentlemen, he's the best quarterback in the league today. The best quarterback in the NFL today. That's why they call him Baby Goat. And as long as you have Pat Mahomes on your side, as long as you have Andy Reid calling the plays for that dynamic offense, or what they could be a dynamic offense, the Kansas City Chiefs are still a scary team. And that's not a team I would take lightly still going into the playoffs, because they're going to be hungry, especially considering the fact it's not looking like they're going to have home field advantage throughout the playoffs like they used to have it. And they're going to be trying their best to get the AFC Championship game back to Arrowhead, back in Kansas City. Let's go with number 4. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the Buffalo Bills have finally made it back to the list. The Buffalo Bills dominated the Dallas Cowboys, defeating them 31-10. Let me tell y'all something. I was going to give this spot to Miami, considering the fact Miami is still leading their division in the AFC East. But every time the Bills have faced Miami, dating back to the the AFC wild card, not the championship game, but divisional game back of last season, Buffalo has had Miami number. And I just can't give Miami this spot. We're going to talk about it. Josh Allen didn't have too much to do with this game, as he was only 7-15 for 94 yards and 1 touchdown in the air. He had no turnovers, but he had 1 rushing touchdown as well. The Bills destroyed the Cowboys the old-fashioned way. Ladies and gentlemen, they destroyed them with the ground and pound, because they went back to old school football, punish a team in the run game, and then hurt them defensively. Let me tell you what James Cook did on the day. James Cook had himself a day as he rushed for 179 yards and had 1 rushing touchdown. Then he also caught 2 of Josh Allen's 7 targets for 42 yards and 1 touchdown in the air as well. The boy was everywhere. James Cook showed up and he was cooking. I'm telling y'all, he was responsible for 221 yards in total offense. In fact, the Bills as a team rushed for 266 yards. In fact, James Cook had more offensive yards than the Cowboys team as a whole. This brings me to what the Bills defense did. Now, we know Dak Prescott has been a top MVP candidate. He's been an MVP front runner. This Cowboys defense have been on a different groove, especially going into the second half of the season after their bye week. They've been beating teams. They just had a huge win against an Eagles team last week, in which nobody gave them pretty much a chance. And then also, not to mention, nobody was taking the Cowboys seriously, stating what we state about Miami, that they haven't played any real competition. So for the Buffalo Bills to actually go beat Dallas after they had that high-spirited win last week was amazing. The defense held Dak Prescott to 134 yards passing and 1 interception and no touchdowns. Sacked him 3 times as well. Bills are back on a 2-game winning streak with back-to-back wins over 2 high-caliber opponents, and defeating Kansas City last week and now defeating Cowboys this past weekend. They are in the fight for the top spot in the AFC East, and it could come down to them versus Miami. They will play Miami in the final game of their season this year, and that game could determine who's going to be the AFC East champion. So the Bills are not out of this by a long shot, and if they continue to play like this, they are going to be representing the AFC East as a divisional champion in the wild card race. However, they have to turn their attentions towards the Los Angeles Chargers, as they'll be playing them on a Saturday night primetime game. At number 3, Gotta go with the Cleveland Browns, y'all. Cleveland Browns defeated the Chicago Bears, as I mentioned earlier in the show, 20-17. I know we talked about what that defense did to Justin Fields, but let me tell you what my boy Joe off the couch Flacco did to this Bears defense. He had a roller coaster of the game, man. He was up and down, especially in that first half. He was very up and down. Third quarter, he started trying to pull it together, but in that fourth quarter, he came up with some clutch passes, man. Flacco was he threw for 28 of 44, 374 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have the 3 picks. But the Bears defense was able to hold the Browns to a shocking 29 yards on the ground. So they needed every bit of Joe Flacco and that magic to happen, especially in the clutch. But luckily for Joe, he also got playmakers on the receiving core. And my boy Amari Cooper and David Njoku showed up as both receivers had over 100 yards receiving on the day, and they each had a touchdown in the air. As I mentioned, the Browns defense made it a tough day in the office for the Bears offense, but they continue to show why they are considered the best defense in the league. Now, the Browns hold the top spot in the AFC wildcard race. I think their record is 9-5. If I'm not mistaken, let's double check that. Let's double check the facts. Look at these NFL standings right now. If we look at the AFC, yes, indeed, the Browns are now 9-5, tied actually with the Chiefs. But luckily for the Chiefs, they own the division. So right now, the Browns are looking like the top AFC wild card race holder. They're going to be having their spot in the playoffs. And I'm telling y'all right now, I don't think people want to see that Browns defense in the playoffs. Remember, I said this was a perfect scenario for Joe Flacco because Joe Flacco won the Super Bowl ring being an okay quarterback in a system where the defense was superb. Remember what happened with the Baltimore Ravens. Could Joe Flacco repeat the same success? We have yet to see that come to true. But what I can tell you is that the Browns right now, considering the fact they've been through 4 quarterbacks throughout the season, considering the fact they had to go pull Joe Flacco off the couch and bring him in to go to work, and he has showed up and went to work. I'm telling you, this Browns team as a whole is going to be tough in the playoffs. They're going to be facing the Houston Texans on Sunday. Let's get into number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, the Baltimore Ravens, man. Now, the Baltimore Ravens defeated the Jacksonville Jaguars, winning 23-7. Lamar Jackson once again getting the job done with both his arm and legs. He was 14-24 on the day for 171 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Also led the team in rushing as well with 97 yards. The Ravens are currently on a 4-game winning streak and had the second longest winning streak in the NFL right now. The defense has proved to be a huge part of the reason for this winning streak. The defense held the Jaguars offense to only 7 points on the day. We're talking about Trevor Lawrence, who's kind of been on the roll as of late. We saw what this Jacksonville Jaguars team could do. They still winning the division in the AFC South, but this is how great the Ravens defense is, holding that offense to only 7 points. And they just put a halt to the Jags rushing attack, only allowing 75 rushing yards. They also forced 2 fumbles on Trevor Lawrence. The Ravens again show that they are the best team in the AFC right now. They are the only team in the AFC that has clinched a playoff berth, and they're going to be going up against the best team on prime time Monday night, Crema football. And we all know who that prime time football team is, right? We're going to talk about number 1. Of course, the 49ers. Not much to really say about the 49ers, man. They flexed their muscles against the Arizona Cardinals, winning 45-29. Brock, my game, so Purdy continuing to stamp his name in the MVP conversation, having a monstrous game as he was 16-25 for 242 yards, 4 tutties, no turnovers. This game almost became the Debo McCaffrey show because these dudes will have a game and take over. Christian McCaffrey had 115 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, 72 reception yards, 2 touchdowns in the air, giving him the hat trick on the day with 3 touchdowns. That Debo would go into Debo mode because he would add 59 yards of combined offense of running and catching the ball, along with 2 touchdowns as well. And then that defense fought the pressure all day as they got 3 sacks and 2 turnovers. This team not only clinched the playoff berth, but they are also the only team in the league to win their division so far. The 49ers are on a 6-game winning streak, which is the longest winning streak in the NFL right now. And they're looking like they're going to be a real problem in the postseason. I can't wait to see them face the Baltimore Ravens on Monday night. Prime time, criminal football is going up. And those are my teams, ladies and gentlemen. After week 15, we have the Kansas City Chiefs, the Buffalo Bills, the Cleveland Browns, the Baltimore Ravens, and of course, my pick to win it all, the San Francisco 49ers. It's been going down, y'all, in football, man. I'm so excited. We get into the postseason. It's almost bittersweet because, the closer we get to the postseason, the closer we get to the season ending. And now we got to wait all the way until September to watch football again. But I'm going to enjoy it, every bit of it while I can. Let's get to the comments before we continue the show. My boy Mike Hughes, man, I appreciate you for tuning in. He say, send me that link for the Bears segment. Sorry, bro, you missed it. That was at the beginning of the show, baby. We moving on now, bro. But we can definitely talk about it on Welcome to Mars tomorrow. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you catch me and my boy Mike Hughes as we bring back Welcome to Mars tomorrow. Tune in. You don't want to miss that. Let's get back into it. Hey, what's up, Glenn, man? I appreciate you for joining in and tuning in, man. Appreciate the love, brother. Let's get into it. And other news in football before we start talking basketball. Tom Brady has some statements to say about a hit that Michael Pittman Jr. took this weekend as the Indianapolis Colts went against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Colts would still go on to win that game. I think it was like 30-13. Yeah, 30-13. They were still going to win that game. However, Michael Pittman took a nasty hit and would eventually lead the game due to concussion protocols. Let's take a look at this hit that Michael Pittman took. Viewer discretion is advised.
Survey for Pittman. Oh, look out. There's flags all over the place with the hit by Casey.
In case you missed that, here's a closer look.
Absorbed this hit from Casey, launched right into him with his shoulder and his helmet lowered.
Now, Casey, which is a safety for the Pittsburgh Steelers, has been suspended, I believe, due to that hit. They consider that like a targeting hit. It's especially because he didn't allow for the receiver to, I guess, catch the ball safely, which I don't understand. It's football. And Tom Brady also felt the same way because he would come out with a tweet talking about the state of football. Let's read this tweet, and I quote, "Nobody likes seeing players get hurt, but hard hits happen. QBs should not be throwing the ball in areas where they are exposing their own teammates to these type of hits. Coaches need to coach better. QBs need to read coverages and throw the ball to the right places, and defenders should aim for the right hitting areas. To put the blame on the defense player all the time is just flat out wrong. Need better QB play. It's not okay, QBs, to get your wide receivers hit because of your bad decisions." And I would have to totally agree with Tom Brady. The only thing I would have my ha-ha moment at is the fact that Tom Brady was a successor of these calls. He's had success due to the calls that referees are getting him, whether it's been roughing the passer or calls, the tuck rule call, or them calling calls on his receivers not being able to catch the ball in a safe place. And we know the rules have changed due to the concussion protocols, where back in the day, if you threw that ball down the middle, I've seen interviews with Ray Allen and other great defenders that'll tell you, Troy Polamalu, they'll tell you, hey, you throw that ball down the middle, you're going to be at you doing that at your own risk, because I'm telling you, I'm going to hurt you. And you know, defenders want to play. You're taking the fun out of football, taking the physical play out of football, and I don't like that. Now, of course, we don't want anything to be wrong with Michael Pittman Jr., and of course, we wishing him a speedy recovery. As I mentioned, he didn't come back in the game due to concussion protocol, but he also was able to walk off the field under his own mission. So the thing is, you know, that's where you have better medical staff, as Tom Brady mentioned. As a quarterback, you know the do's and don'ts and where to put the ball at to keep your receiver safe. You know, you don't want to throw it right down the middle of the field. You don't want to throw your receiver in the way of somebody that's charging at them in full speed. So, you know, of course, that comes down to the quarterback as well. So I agree with Tom Brady, man. You know, the state of football in a minute, they're going to be playing glorified flag football, and you know nobody wants to see that. We, you know, when we're ready for the afternoon on those Sundays, you know, waiting on primetime football on Thursday or Monday, we coming to see the hard hitting stuff, man. Yeah, you know, let these players play. You know, so make football great again. You know, if I can steal an adage from people, you know, make football great again, because I am tired of seeing y'all treating these football players like baby. This sport is brutal and is meant to be brutal. And if you can't handle it, don't play football. That's my 2 cents on that. Let's go back here. He said hit came out of the 1970s NFL. I'm telling you, man. And you know what? You know, players enjoy it. You know, these players understand exactly the risk that comes with playing the game of football. You're making millions of dollars, making more money than these players in the 70s ever made. And the game was a much more physical game back in the day. And that's what I'm saying, man. You know, we want to keep these players safe, but you also want to keep the integrity of the game. And, you know, and like I said, if you can't handle the physicality of football, then maybe you're in the wrong sport, because these guys coming out there to hit you, they coming out there to hurt you. And it is not supposed, you know, we'll shake hands at the end of the game, but until that, we are straight up enemies. And while we move on from football to the NBA, I got to give y'all my favorite segment now, Rob's Goofball of the Week. And let me tell y'all should already know who about to be the Goofball of the Week. If you don't know, we going to go right into it, because Draymond Green has been suspended indefinitely by the NBA for the hit that he placed on Yusuf Nurkic. Now, I was going to show y'all the hit, but I said instead of me showing y'all the hit, I came across something even funnier. There's a compilation going around right now about every incident that Draymond has been into, and we're going to sit back, relax, and enjoy it together on Robs2Cents. Let's take a look, y'all. Draymond Green, Goofball of the Week.
To Barnes. Green and James jawing at each other while play continues. LeBron James incensed. Remember, Draymond Green is one flagrant foul and 2 technicals away from being suspended.
He's got down threes as Zubats gets the basket. And now we got a whistle, and a technical foul is called here. It's on Draymond Green. That's good. That's number 16, which means he's suspended for the next game. He is still barking.
Yeah, he can't throw the ball at people.
Monk puts it up. And Curry's got the board. Green gets tied up. And a technical has been assessed. So that's it for Draymond Green. He's done.
Now McDaniels and Klay Thompson get tangled up.
Now someone's got Rudy in a headlock. It's Draymond. Somehow Draymond just got Rudy around the neck from behind. I can't believe what I just saw.
Just picked up his 3rd foul. And now Green runs over Nurkic, and he'll be called for the foul. And they're going to take a look at this. Oh, man. I think this may be the last of Draymond Green. We'll see.
Draymond, what you on, bro? I'm serious, bro. I get it. Look, I come from the hood. We play hard in the hood. Pause. We play tough in the hood. Sometimes we can play a little dirty in the hood. But even in the hood, ain't nobody gonna step on your chest because they know what's about to come to that. Either they gonna get up and swing on you, or they finna go look in their bag at the bench. This is what I'm saying, bro. Like, you got the money that you asked for. You made the bag. They chose you over Jordan Poole. They got rid of Poole thinking that he was the problem. They didn't even show that incident on this compilation of how you UFC Jordan Poole, like, just took the man completely out. And then they chose you over to add salt to the wound. Then you get your bag, you get paid over the summer. You've been all, in the celebratory stage, hugging Rich Paul and thanking him for getting you the money that you felt you deserved. And then you come out and give the Warriors this. You come out here and completely put your team in danger of missing the play-in because you want to throw a temper tantrum, you want to choke people. Excuse me, you want to stomp on people, you want to swing at people on the court. Draymond, I know you better than that, bro. Like, I get it, you got to play the intimidation role, and I understand that you are the enforcer for your team. But Draymond, there's a better way to go about winning the game without stomping on people's chests. There's a better way to go about winning the game without hitting people in their area, in the groin area. There's a better way to go about winning the game without actually jawing a person on the court, because if Nurkic would have got up and jawed you back, then he would have been in the wrong. Draymond, you got to get it together, bro. I'm not going to say you need help and all this counseling stuff that they've been saying. I don't know what's going on in your mind, but you need to mature up. You need to realize that you are a brand. Draymond Green is a brand. You're setting yourself up to do things after the NBA, which is why you have your podcast, which is why you were making these appearances on Inside the NBA. You have to think about your brand, bro. That's why Draymond Green, you are Rob's goofball of the week. And I hope you get it together, bro. I really do, man, because you've been one of my favorite players. I even joke and say when I'm playing basketball with people, I'm Draymond Green out there. I'm gonna set the screens. I'm gonna make the right play. Now I shoot better than you, but you know what I'm saying. But I make the right plays, and I'm gonna get everybody in position, and I'm gonna control things on the court because I'm not as athletically gifted or blessed as some people. So I use all of my tools to my advantage. So I respect somebody like you who does have some athleticism, but you're not as good as the Steph Currys, the Klay Thompsons, the Andrew Wiggins that's on your team. But you control the game in a completely different way, and I respect that. You need to get back to that, Draymond. You got to get away from this enforcer thing, man. And if you're going to be an enforcer, do it the right way, but stomping on people's chests, hitting people in the nuts, slapping people out there, choking people up, that ain't the way to get your way, bro. That ain't the way to do it. Let's get to the comments, man. Yeah, I know it's funny. He got a whole compilation out here. Hey, John, I appreciate you for watching the show. Yeah, it's even worse this year, man. It's getting real bad, man. But we're gonna keep this thing going, man. We almost done with the show, ladies and gentlemen, man. I gotta start off this next topic talking about these four dudes, man, because I gave these four guys a very hard time, but the Clippers have been hooping. My boy Anthony, man. Shout out to my boy Anthony, man, and Riz Clothing. Rich Clothing, man. And this dude has been on my ass talking about, man, I ain't seen you talking about, pause on that. I ain't seen you talking about the Clippers and they winning streak and all that. I told him I got them because I've been watching and paying attention too, man. And the Clippers are on the roll right now, man. They on an 8-game winning streak. And I gotta talk about my boy James Harden, who has turned back the hands of time. He's playing like a motivated player. I'm not ready to jump on this bandwagon yet because I got to see you in the playoffs. That's why I know you disappear. I know what you can do in the regular season, but I'm going to still give you your love right now because you've been balling so crazy, man. James Harden been on an absolute tear in the last 5 games out of that 8-game winning streak. He put up 20.7 rebounds, 7 assists, and 1 steal, and 2 blocks against Portland. Then he put up 28 points, 15 assists, 7 rebounds, 1 steal, and 4 blocks against the Golden State Warriors. However, last night will be the performance of performances, because that man will go crazy against the Indiana Pacers, who got a target on their back after all that wolfing they was doing after the in-season tournament. I mean, he scored 35 points on the Pacers, but that ain't even the worst part. 21 points of them 35 points came in the fourth quarter while he was shooting 12 of 16 from the field, while he was shooting 8 of 11 from the distance, including 9 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block, and only had 1 turnover. Fear the beer is back, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why I got to say, James, Fear the Beard Harden. That boy cold. And James Harden been going crazy. Not just him. I mean, on the year now, James Harden's averaging 17.1 points, 4.6 rebounds a game, 7.6 assists a game. Paul George coming in, giving them that help from distance, but also shooting 22 point, scoring 22.9 points a game, 5.7 rebounds a game, 4.2 assists. My boy Russell Westbrook, who should get Leader of the Year. If they ever had such an award, Russell Westbrook deserves Leader of the Year, because the fact that he went to Coach Tyronn Lue and said, you know what, it ain't working, I'll come off the bench. I've played in this 6-man role with the Lakers. I don't mind coming off the bench for the Clippers. You guys wanted me here. You treated me so well. So I'm going to return the favor and do everything in my power to give us every opportunity to win. And Russell Westbrook has been doing this thing, coming off the bench, averaging 11.2 points a game, 6.2 rebounds a game, and 4.7 assists. And Kawhi Leonard, who ain't been low managing this year, pause, been doing this thing and showing up and showing out, averaging 24.2 points per game, 5.8 rebounds per game, and 3.5 assists per game. This is your big four, ladies and gentlemen. They've been going crazy on the league, man. As I mentioned, 8-game winning streak after they lost like their first 6 games, and everybody thought this was a failed experiment. And Russell Westbrook makes that call, goes to the bench, and I really think that's where their season turned around at, because it showed how somebody who's been used to being a star in this league was able to bite the bullet and sacrifice his pride and do it for the betterment of the team, man. That was a big shout out to Russell Westbrook, man. And James Harden, you know, a lot of people been saying play better, and that's exactly what he's been doing, looking like the James Harden of old last night, man. And you know, and I'm just happy to see it for the guy. I'm happy to see it for the Los Angeles Clippers. Happy to see it for Coach Tyronn Lue. They've been looking like the dominant team in LA now. Because speaking of LA, Indiana and the Lakers have been losing since they had their finals in the in-season tournament. Now, I was gonna show the banner raised in the crypto arena. You know, to take a phrase from my boy Bubba Dub, Kobe Bryant was rolling over in his grave, watching the Lakers raise an in-season tournament banner. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the in-season tournament. I love the fact that we got teams out there actually competing in November and in December and, you know, giving you a playoff atmosphere when we're far away from the playoffs right now. But you got a little taste of what the playoffs are going to be like this season. And the winners won $500,000. Every player won $500,000. I'm not knocking that. I don't care if I was a millionaire. You're going to give me $500,000. Let's go do it. Let's go ahead and win the whole thing. But the fact that y'all raised the banner, I already was laughing when y'all was popping champagne bottles after getting the trophy ceremony. Y'all really went in the back and celebrated like y'all didn't have work 2 days later. Like you didn't have to go play the San Antonio Spurs 2 days later after winning this tournament. This wasn't the end of the year, Los Angeles Lakers. This is now the beginning, because the real season begins right before the All-Star break. You guys then go and raise a banner. I can just remember the clip from Kobe saying, we raise championship banners here. We don't raise divisional titles. We don't raise none of that here. We only raise championship banners. So, I'm not knocking LeBron. No, that wasn't his idea. Even they showed a picture of him looking sideways. Like, are we really doing this? You know what I'm saying? We putting this target on our back, and it's been a target on y'all back, because so far, after the in-season tournament, the Los Angeles Lakers have lost 3 out of their last 4 games, and the Pacers lost 4 consecutive games out of their last 5. That's just how bad it's been. You know, you might want to get your mojo back, man, because you know, the in-season tournament is over now. You're fighting to make the actual playoffs now. Get it together, y'all. And then also, I want to give a huge shout out to Giannis Antetokounmpo on scoring 64 points against the Pacers, where he shot 20 or 28 from the field, 24 or 32 from the charity stripe. Go ahead, Giannis, hit your free throws. Also going for 14 rebounds, 4 steals, and 1 block. And then a huge shout out to my boy Jalen Brunson, who scored 50 points against the Suns, shooting 17 to 23 from the field, including a perfect 9 to 9 from the three-point line. Godly. Also had 9 to 6, 6 rebounds, and 5 steals. I want to say that this was the highest point total in Jalen Brunson's young career, and Giannis broke the franchise record for most points scored ever. He is now the Milwaukee Bucks all-time highest scorer. Hey, it's been going down, man. Ja Morant returned tonight as the Grizzlies are playing against the New Orleans Pelicans. He brings back with him his 26.2 points, 5.9 rebounds, and 8.1 assists. And that's right on time for the Memphis Grizzlies. Exactly what the doctor ordered, because let me tell y'all, the Grizzlies have been abysmal this year. They're 13th in the West right now with a record of 6-19. It ain't been looking too good for the Grizzlies. So I know they're happy to get Ja back. Sooner or later, they'll get Marcus Smart back, get Derrick Rose back from his hamstring injury, and you'll be able to now put players in their rightful roles and rightful positions and let Ja go out there and go to work. Still a chance for them to make the playoffs, but they are going to have to be damn near perfect, and I just don't know if the Grizzlies will have enough time to recover from that. I don't want to bring up what Ja's already done. We talked about that. I'm just hoping Ja Morant does better for the future. I know he will. He's gonna get those endorsements again. All you got to do is be a top-notch citizen and continue to win, and all that'll get swept under the rug. But our best thoughts are with you. And before I end the show, let me go here. Hey, go ahead to the comments. He said, yeah, they've been hot. He said James Johnson's more of a enforcer, but he getting old. Yes, he is. He said the Clippers have been hot. James Harden cooked your guys last night. Yes, he did. 4 threes in a row, including the 4-point play. Hey, that boy James Harden was going crazy. Hey, yes, sir. I had to give him some love. And Mike Hughes said, who would they be in April? I just said that, Mike. We don't know how the Clippers are going to be looking when it comes to playoff time. Only thing I could do is give them love now, because if I'm going to criticize you when you're doing bad, I got to show you love once you elevate your play, man. If you knew better, you do better. And clearly the Clippers are doing better. In other news, before we get up out of here today, man, Devin Haney and Gervonta Tank Davis have been having verbal altercations on Twitter, X, now known as X. I mean, now that Devin Haney has moved up to the 140-pound weight division, he's calling out Tank. He said he ready, and I quote, let's look at this tweet of these battle of internet tweeting, the internet beefing. Let's look at this battle. Gervonta Tank Davis, he says, hold on, let me remove this comment out the way, y'all, my bad. Gervonta Tank Davis says, I promise you, your father gonna cry for what I'm gonna do to you. That's on my dead homie. He said, your best bet is to enjoy it while you can, because the Devin Haney comes out and say, Tank is a, you know what I'm saying, of a JJ word. He said he's scared to death of me. He always say he want to fight when I have a fight lined up already. Well, now I'm free. Let's make it happen. Hey, let me tell you guys something right now. If these dudes decide to go out there and fight, you want to talk about a mega fight, I think that'll be a great mega fight. We saw the numbers that Gervonta and Ryan Garcia pulled in that super fight, and then Devin Haney beating Lomachenko and then going up in weight class, after relinquishing the undisputed title at 135 and going to beat Regis Prograis at 140 pounds with a flawless victory, unanimous decision. That's the fight that people people want to see. You know, we saw Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. We've seen Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. We saw Ngannou and Tyson Fury, and we're probably gonna see Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk to unify the heavyweight title. So boxing right now is getting exciting, man. I like to see, give the fans the fights that they want to see, man. I'm excited to see it. I'm glad that Haney and Tank are looking like they not ducking no smoke with each other, and it's gonna be a beautiful thing to watch, y'all, man. Stay tuned. I'll keep you guys in on what's happening in the boxing world. And we come to my end of my show where I always like to give you a video of the week. And the theme of James Harden doing so well, I had to show his 4-point play last night as the video of the week, because not only did it look good to see that he was having fun, you could see Westbrook and the other Clippers on the bench cheering for him, Paul George, Kawhi cheering for James Harden as he was putting in that work on the Pacers. Let's take a look.
Clippers 6 minutes and 10 seconds away from their 8th straight win. No way.
Oh, my goodness! He has entered the scoring vortex!
Well, he saw them coming to double team him, so he stopped short, gets hit, and is feeling it.
That man out there making snow angels, he said, it's beginning to look a lot like Crema. And y'all, man, that's the end of my show, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, for showing love, man. It's been a great 2023, man. I am so happy I made my return back to doing what I love, back to Robs2Cents, forming new partnerships and new relationships with my boy Mike Hughes as we've started Welcome to Mars, man, the Mike and Rob show. It's been a beautiful, beautiful thing, and we're going to keep this train rolling in 2024, man. I need all my people to subscribe, need all my people to like videos, share videos, man. Put your boy on, man. We want to see one of us make it out the hood, man. We ain't going to make it without supporting each other, baby. I promise you I'll reach back and grab for the next person. I'm the one running this sports scene in Chicago right now, and don't y'all ever forget it, man. I'm going to talk my ish for a little bit, man. I got nothing but love for y'all, man. Remember, whatever your New Year's resolution is, start to work on it now. Build those habits now, because you don't want to get to where you're going and you haven't established a foundation of great habits to continue to sustain it. Man, I'm telling you, build your habits now. And I hope you guys have the happiest of holidays, no matter what you're celebrating. If you're celebrating Kwanzaa, if you're celebrating Hanukkah, if you're celebrating, I don't know, whatever other holidays out here, if you're celebrating Christmas. You know, I hope you have a happy holidays. Enjoy the time with your family. Enjoy good food. Enjoy that breath of fresh air being away from work for a little while so that you can get to 2024 and hit the ground running, baby. You know, I got nothing but love for y'all, man. I thank y'all for the continuous support. And we going to continue to rock out in 2024, because guess what? Like I always say, we just getting started, baby. We just getting started. Love y'all, man. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and continue to be blessed. And you already know the slogan, baby. We gone. Merry Christmas from Robs2Cents. There's a bigger fight going on. There's a much bigger agenda than the streets. And I know sometimes it's hard to see that far in front of us, but we have to look past the illusions, look past the delusions of grandeur, and look at the bigger picture. We need to become better versions of ourselves each and every day. Fight for what you believe in, because if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. We just getting started, baby. You guys know the slogan now. Hope you all have a great evening, and we gone.